Hello, welcome back to the Brew Corner. It's a Mead afternoon. This is a really good Mead. This is the one, this was my first ever Mead, I think. And it's the one that I was back sweetening on a video a few videos ago, where I had a Mead that was about 12 or 18 months old in the demijohn, and I was back sweetening it. That has turned out to be fantastic. And when you think, because it was my first Mead, I just used really cheap supermarket honey in those little squeezy bottles. I didn't take notes, so I don't know how much honey there was in it. I don't know what the ABV is. I do know it's a small Mead, so it's probably around about 6%, 7%, something like that. What's called a hydromel. But I've forgotten exactly what I did because it was so long ago, and it's turned out fantastic. It's really benefited from the back sweetening, because I'd left it so long it had become so dry. It was really pucker. It was really dry. But that little bit of honey that I put back in after I stabilised it and everything, that's really made it a beautiful, nice drink. It's sort of like medium sweet. And one thing I can tell is I used tea in this Mead. Now, the reason you add tea, just normal tea, a black tea, about 200 mils, is it just adds some tannins, which adds to the mouthfeel and just balances out a little bit of the sweetness. That is a cracking Mead. It just goes to show, if you leave them alone, you know, after fermentation, you just leave it alone, rack it into a new demijohn, put it away, forget about it. Or in my case, it was a bit more laziness than forgetfulness. But just leave it for 12 months, and even cheap supermarket honey, and that's all I back sweetened it with as well. It was just cheap supermarket honey, produces a really nice, perfectly clear, absolutely no sediment in the bottle, just like a commercial Mead. I think because I used the cheaper honey, yeah, the colour could have been a little bit more deeper. This is very sort of straw coloured. Could have been deeper, but that's cosmetics. It's certainly a really tasty Mead. And I got about 4.5 bottles, 5 bottles out of that one demijohn. So that's a cracker. Highly recommend Meads. And it was just simple. It was just, from what I can remember, it was just honey, tea and water, and that was it. Left it for a year, back sweetened it, and this is the outcome. Beautiful. Okay, this afternoon as well, I've got my spiced Mead here. Tastes really nice. It's taken an awful long time to clear though. This is about maybe a month old now, so I'm not expecting crystal clarity like with this Mead that's 12 to 18 months old, but I thought I'd start seeing some sort of clarity developing. So what I'm going to do, this has already been racked once, and there is a layer, a sediment, a lees on the bottom. It has finished fermenting because I used a stabiliser, so I know it's finished fermenting. But what I'm going to do is rack it again and maybe back sweeten as well, because I don't want to leave. This is going to have to be left for maybe 2 or 3 months, I would think. And I don't really want to have such a big headspace if I'm leaving it for that length of time because of oxidization, things like that. So I will back sweeten, or well, I'll have a taste of it first, and I will back sweeten it if it's required, or I'll just fill it up with water up to about the neck in a new demijohn, and then I'll just set that aside, and it should be ready for Christmas. The intention for the spiced mead was for Christmas anyway, but yeah, it seems to be a very slow clearer. I'm going to rack it into something new that helps with clearing, and just see how it goes. If it gets to about mid-November and it's still not clear, I may consider use some finings to help, but we'll see how it goes. But that it tastes really nice balance with the honey and the spice. I haven't tasted it recently yet, so that might be different. I'll have a quick taste when I rack it, and then make that decision whether I back sweeten or not. And I'm also going to prepare another mead today using this wildflower honey. So it's a bit posh. I'm going posh with my honey. This is Bulgarian. It's 100% organic raw wildflower honey. Just one hivery in Bulgaria, and I'm looking forward to making this mead. It's actually a recipe that's on City Steading Brewing, or City Steading Brews. It's a YouTube channel, very popular one in the homebrew community, and he made a mead with raisins. So I think there's about 250 grams of raisins, and he used 1500 grams of honey, but these jars are 900 grams. So I'm going to get 1.8 kilos of honey, which should give me something like a 12 or 13%, maybe 14% mead. So a bit more powerful than the hydromel here, which is about 6 or 7. So I've got that project on as well. Right, it was just a quick update video today. I've put the oak tail on, and I'm going to also be putting on the other one I bought from Muntons, the handcrafted. It's called Smuggler's Ale. Oh, that's another thing. I've also, because I made this oaked ale, I like the oaky flavour in beers. I thought, I wonder what an oaked mead would taste like. So I bought myself some a bag of oak chips, and I made, again, a very basic mead just like this with supermarket honey, tea and water. But what I've done is I've put a few oak chips in the demijohn, and I'm going to leave them there for about a week. On Sunday I will taste it, and if there's enough oakiness, I will siphon off into another demijohn and leave the oak chips behind. If I think it's not oaky enough for my taste, I will either add a few more and just keep tasting it every few days, or I'll just leave what's in and just let it go another week. But yeah, an oaked mead, so that's going to be an interesting one. So I've got a few things going on. Right, let's have another taste of this. Nice. And I plan this weekend as well to brew the English bitter extract recipe pack using this. So I might film that. But this is certainly a very, very nice mead. So I'm going to be enjoying myself this afternoon whilst I tinker about and I do all these other little jobs. Okay, thanks for watching. As always, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you again in the next video.